So today I kind of want to talk about rage bait. I don't know. It seems to me that everything nowadays, probably for years, if you also kind of take news into account, is all centered around rage bait. So for those of you who don't realize or know what rage bait is, it's basically this technique on social media to kind of post something that kind of sparks rage in a person because negative things or something that causes someone to rage about a topic or a piece of content is more likely to gather not only views but also engagement, because I don't know why it is. We as humans are so inclined to give our own opinions. We want to share our opinions and kind of comment on something. And most of the time, people want to comment on something that they have no idea about. So you see so many times, especially when you are also a creator, people like to kind of comment negatively or give negative feedback, although they never ever done anything similar or have no clue about what they're talking about. And this is where rage bait is kind of tapping into. They want to kind of create views and engagement by kind of forcing that negative energy out of people and kind of baiting them, as the name implies, to comment their opinion on this, whatever they see that kind of enrages them. And that is a downward spiral in society, I feel like, because people want so much to get famous, and I feel like nowadays there are two parts of it. Being famous, like an actor or a director or whatever, it might be a musician, or famous on social media by having lots of subscribers and lots of views. And it seems like nowadays the easiest way to gather engagement, views, and this kind of form of getting famous, hence i.e. views, is rage baiting and doing really outrageous stuff. As I've mentioned in a few videos previously, these YouTubers who do these pranks and terrible things and being a nuisance just to gain views and some form of celebrity, in air quotes, status, because they know it works. People are more likely to view what is negative, what is terrible. And unfortunately, also, as I just mentioned, people want to share their opinion, want to kind of, how will you call it, convince other people that their opinion is the right one. And this taps right into it, this rage baiting, because there is something that enrages this one person. And not only does this person is enraged, they see something that is not their opinion. So they want to voice their opinion and also want to convince anyone else that their opinion is the right one, because this, what they're seeing, is so terrible. And so many people on the internet are making use of this urge that people have. And as I said, this is downward spiral because people flood the internet and especially social media with negative stuff, either with these stupid pranks or with opinions that don't really need to be shared, or pranks, or now AI slop of stuff that is fake, but to some point it's not really recognizable. For example, we are flooded with these security camera videos or videos of I don't know, Ring cameras that have low quality and that kind of are very easy to hide that it's AI. So you kind of mess up the image, make something AI, and it's hard for people, or for many people, not all of you, of course, to recognize that that is AI. And then they see something and then they get enraged because, I don't know, they see something that they don't like. Then they engage with it, and then that thing gets more views, and suddenly we are kind of stuck. We are already stuck with so much content that is terrible, that is making use of this rage baiting. And honestly, it is kind of scary because it dumbs down people. It forces a narrative that most likely is false, because again, people want engagement, and then they are also willing to lie about stuff just to kind of force that rage. And also it separates society in a way, because it kind of sparks discussions that don't need to be there. And I feel like we in society at the moment, we are so urged, we have this, people have this urge to voice their opinion, not in the goal of, we have freedom of speech, and I am all for it. I have so many people kind of attacking me, and I'm respect them. If you don't like me, then don't like me. But this is not what I'm talking about. I feel like people kind of they want to share their opinion, but they also want to convince other people about their opinion, and they don't want to listen to other people's opinion. We all have freedom of speech, but that doesn't mean that you can say anything without consequences, and B, we have the freedom to disagree. And I feel like people don't see that. People want to voice their opinion and want to convince other people of their opinions, so those people change their opinions to their opinions. And honestly, I feel like that's the wrong way to go about it. And that's basically the reason why rage baiting works, because people want to share their opinion to convince other people that what they're seeing is, what they're doing in that video is wrong. And yes, it is wrong most of the time. But what I'm saying is, or where I want to get at, it's kind of trying to detach from social media and not engaging in this rage bait. I know that it is hard to kind of get away from social media, which is why I posted so many videos lately kind of recommending these handheld devices just to get away from your phone and from social media. And honestly, for me personally, I do feel the positives of getting away from social media. But this video is not about buying or getting into retro gaming, although for me it was a really good catalyst, a good tool to get away from social media, but more to be aware of the fact that that is happening on social media. Again, I recognize that it is hard to get away from social media, because for some of us it is also work, for some of us it is something that we enjoy, but it is important to kind of recognize, oh, okay, is this actually a good content? Is this, more importantly, is this real content? And I don't speak necessarily about AI, but in terms of these pranks, for example, is this real in terms of, is it staged, or is it real in terms of, is there honesty behind it? Because most of these pranksters, most of these nuisance content creators, they do this to enrage people, and they want a reaction. And that's what I mean by, is this real? It's not real, because they're forcing negative reactions. So that's the second part. And the third part, is that actually important for your life? And then fourth, and very importantly, is this important for you to actually comment on, to view? Sometimes we can't avoid viewing it. pops up whilst doom scrolling, and then we watch it, right? But is it actually important to comment on that? To give not only the view to that content, but also engagement, because you need to realize as soon as you comment on that, not only you're wasting your energy, but more important, you give engagement to that piece of content, and every piece of view and engagement pushes that content further to other people. So those are the things that you need, or I believe we need to kind of recognize. Again, to summarize, do we need to watch this? Is this real? Do we need to comment on this and waste energy? And yeah, wouldn't your time better suited to do something else? Again, for me, it's moving to retro gaming. Yes, I exchange one display for the other, but with this, I don't engage in this kind of rage baiting, social media, downward spiral. And again, to me, it is a huge relief on my brain. And I'm shocked that there is more and more rage bait. I mean, as I alluded to in the beginning, we already had that so many times with news. No one listens to good news. We all only watch news for bad news. And I guess that was the start of an air quotes rage baiting. It's not necessarily that it started with we want to kind of encourage rage or comment section, because obviously when you watch TV back in the days, it wasn't like that. Obviously everyone was talking about it in an enraged way. But yeah, that's basically where it started in a way. And now we have social media that is flooded with this kind of stuff. And it just weighs down on our brains, on our mental health, and it takes away so much energy. And again, I'm not here to kind of preach that you should get away from social media, because I know it's hard. I have had a lot of difficulties. I still watch a lot of Instagram and YouTube. I'm doom scrolling, but I am slowly recognizing, oh, this is wasted time. I could have used that to play a little bit a game that is kind of in air quotes forcing my brain to do something instead of just consuming. But I think the first step is to kind of realize that what you're watching isn't worth it on social media, and especially it's not worth it to comment on that. All right, so that was my rant about rage bait, and I hope we all can get a little bit more positive, because let's be real, the world is not in a great place at the moment. Politics, economics, socially, everything is a little bit fucked up. Let's be real about that. And we don't need that negativity also kind of getting from our phones into our brain and then kind of sparking that rage and making us kind of argue with people we don't even know on the internet about topics that probably aren't even real. And I'm not talking about politics. That's a totally different thing. I'm talking purely about social media, rage bait stuff. It's no use. Yeah, that was my rant. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts about this. And I hope all of you are positive mentally and don't get bogged down by too much negativity. And yeah, maybe check out yesterday's video where I kind of talked about how getting away from social media, playing games, listening to audiobooks and stuff like that, deleting the YouTube Studio app has kind of made me a little bit better in my brain. Check it out up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. Don't forget to hype and like this video, and maybe help me to get to 2,000 subscribers by clicking the button here. And then we see each other tomorrow.